Yeah, we're just going to have a look at uh, NM, Mantle Mining. Okay, just a request I got from somebody. What I've got in front of me here is the daily chart, and what we can see here, the purple line is the 200-day moving average, and it's had a really nice little bounce off of it, and the other MAs have come up through it, which is basically a golden cross, and it's sort of taken the market a little while to sort of catch on to it, and now they've all basically are turning up, okay, and going on with it. What we've got to look at this one here with past history is what I've got here is just basically a ruler to show the range that this stock traded in the past, and I'm just taking it from the low here and up to the closing high as a range, and it's a little bit of a blow off top in there. Okay, and we have a look at it, and if we put it up here from this low here, okay, to that high, it's repeated that range again. So it likes repeating that range. So it's a repeat offender. Okay, basically the thing. And if we take it over here, okay, and we put it up here, okay, from the low to the high, it once again has repeated that range. Okay, so what it needs to do now is to consolidate. Also, what I've got on here is a set of quadrant lines which draw things into quarters, and we have fibs, okay, which bring things into eighths. And what we can see with the overall fib and quadrant level, it failed to stay above the 50%, okay, getting back above the 50%. It's also failed to stay above the 61.8%. This last fib down here is what I call the Alamo. Okay, it's the last man standing, and that would be, one would be thinking that would be some pretty good support for the stock at the moment. Okay, what I've also done is drawn a fib set from the low, sorry, to the high. Okay, of more recent, and we'll just zoom in and have a look at that in a minute. But one really important thing is this repeating ranges. It likes to repeat these ranges, okay? And it's repeated again. The other important thing with this stock too, it's done a lot of time, okay? And after it does time, they do price, okay? And we can see that this stock has done a hell of a lot of price just recently. Just zoom in and just have a look at the candlesticks a little bit more here. These are basically our local fib set, okay? And it's just trying to hang on to the 38.2% here at the moment with this candle set up here, okay? I'm thinking it's going to come down and revisit the 14-day moving average, which would take it down to around about the 50% level. Don't forget, as it's on its way down, the MA is on its way up, okay, to meet it. So you'd be looking around that 15.5 cents level is basically what this is telling me here. That's what I'd be tending to be thinking, okay? Just have a look at the indicators and just see what they're telling us. And as we can see, our MACD definitely is coming off, okay? I'll just put that up a little bit higher for you to have a look. Our MACD is definitely coming off, okay? Our stochastic also is coming off, and the volumes have also come off from that big spike up, and there was a nice little rise in volume here on the way up, and now our volumes have come back off. Also, our DEMA filter short exits were triggered, okay, and our DEMA went to 95. That's amazing. Yeah, so it was horrifically overbought up there. Okay, so yeah, our DEMA has turned and is coming back off. Now, they usually bounce around the 54 mark. Okay, as if I was looking for a bounce on this stock, that's where I'd be looking for it. Around those levels, it could go through it and then just turn back up through it again. Also, we've got an RSI here at the moment. It's trying to do a little bit of a straight thing, but I think that might just straighten out and then come back a bit. Again, it got above plus 95 on the RSI, which is massive as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so this will definitely start to trend back down. It could, the RSI could just stuff around here, but with the DEMA pointing down like that, it's quite in the obvious direction where it's wanting to go. I see the little short entries trying maybe to trigger, but I don't think so. Let's just do the naughty thing and we'll just turn this into a weekly chart and we'll have a look at the weekly indicators. Okay, and we can see that the MACD could have more to go. The SCOTH is definitely rolled over, okay, and the DEMA short exits have been generated on a weekly, okay, and also the RSI on the weekly is definitely on the way back down from up being in the 90s, okay. Other thing to bear in mind is the candlesticks here at the moment on the weekly is a spinning top. Whether it does hold this here or it comes down and has a retest of the 50% is what I'd sort of be thinking. If it does come back, it might not be there for a long time, as we can see on the run-up in the past. It had back over here when it did that big run-up. It just had 2 weeks off, really 3, and then it gapped up and off it went again, okay? The thing to bear in mind is there's not much information as far as data goes, but it's just see the 200 moving average here on the weekly chart, and the first line's gone through it, okay? The other lines are more slow moving, okay, but then they could cross and golden cross here. So you get a second golden cross, that would be on your weekly chart, okay? There's a couple other stocks doing that around at the moment that have just sort of come off a bit and are attempting just to cut some slack on the indicators so the indicators can catch up, okay? Because after a parabolic move like that, they sort of need it, okay? But there's just a few thoughts on MANTLE, and if we're looking at history, I suppose it's had that run up there, it has a pull back, and it could do that range again, okay? That's what one could be thinking here, yeah, at the moment. So, and with the golden cross on the weekly, which could happen in a couple of weeks' time, one would tend to be thinking down that line a little bit. So that's about me for MANTLE mining.